Welcome back to another video. So guys, Julius Malema responds to threats by Rwanda, and the war that is happening in West Africa. No, Malema was asking for South African soldiers to return back home because they do not have capacities to fight. Now this after President Kagame threatened Ramaphosa and South Africa lost lives. For continue, make sure you subscribe and notification bell for more interesting videos on my channel. So guys, I'm gonna share a clip of Malema's recent video. He was doing address. He was addressing the fighters, in situation that's currently happening between Rwanda and South Africa, and the war that is happening, in response, to South Africans, expecting war between Rwanda and South Africa. This is what he said. You guys will be shocked.
Yet in a conflict we do not understand and send our soldiers to fight rebels who are more equipped than us. We are being humiliated in DRC and threatened with war by President of Rwanda because our role of peace in the DRC is questionable, because there is no peace that has ever been achieved through the deployment of soldiers. The South African National Defence Force is not in DRC to pursue peace, but we are participating in the decade-old conflict to secure the mineral interests of the capital elite in the Congo. Our soldiers must withdraw from the DRC, not only because they have not been given the necessary equipment to pursue the so-called peace they are there for, but because the motivation to send our forces to the DRC are dishonest. Our children, our sons and daughters of the South African National Defence Force have been sent to their death because the mineral interests of multinational corporations and individuals must be secured. Our soldiers have been sent to be glorified bodyguards of the mines in the DRC, and this mission has been disguised as a pursuit of peace and a defense of democracy. Bring our soldiers home, because our army should not be a pawn in a game of capitalists which has now exposed the weakness of our military capacity.
So guys, obviously the fighters will defend Malema and says that Malema is making valid points, by asking for South African soldiers to return back home. So Malema is really not entertaining this war. I've also seen a tweet from Comrade Ndlozi, saying that they shouldn't be fighting back. So he was saying that Ramaphosa and South African soldiers, must be brought back home, because this war is not worth fighting for. Malema says that the reason that South Africa is fighting is because they're trying to protect their assets, the South African assets, the minerals, and he says that this war has been happening more than a decade, actually more than even a decade, for many decades, guys. It has been happening, and Malema is not ready to lose more South African soldiers over this. So many South Africans were saying that Malema is always working against South Africa. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and notification bell for more interesting videos on my channel.